All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, December 29th, 2021. So another anemic rally here on Wall Street. Spiders up just 1.3%. NASDAQ, triple Qs here flat. Dow up 0.2%, and Russell basically flat as well. A really light volume session again, so that is to be expected. Again, we've been talking about that lately. Towards the end of the year, a lot of big boys are on vacation, and there's just not a lot moving the market. Just 47 million shares traded on the SPY today. I see a lot. It just never fails. All these holiday weeks of trading. I see all over Twitter. Everybody, oh, this is happening. Oh, market's doing this. Oh, couldn't break this level. Oh, this level broke. Don't make too much out of this. Okay, seriously, like. This is not, nobody's participating in this little float here and this little sell-off. Don't make anything out of it. This is just day traders covering into the close so that they don't lose their buying power for the next day. This all sideways action is just, this, do not make a lot out of it. Okay, there's just not a lot of volume in this market. When the volume returns, then we will, get a little bit deeper into things as far as equities are concerned. But right now, there's not a lot going on, and you don't want to make too much out of this. The one thing I will say is right now is probably a good time to be a buyer of premium. With volatility so cheap right now. Volatility is getting really cheap now. And, the market's kind of being lulled to sleep. There's no fear out there right now. And there really shouldn't be, at least at the moment, because, again, there's no volume in the market in this near term. But I think, closer we get to January, and really once we get into January, I think we'll have some volatility will come back into the market. But for now, this would be a good time, whether you're looking to buy calls or puts on things. This is probably a good time to get in, as volatility, when volatility spikes, it does make those premiums go up. So I wouldn't necessarily be a writer of premium right now. I would be more of a buyer. So that is one positive of the light volume right now. One area of the market that is moving today is rates. So rates have moved a little bit yesterday, and now possibly we see here on the TNX a little bit of a breakout. So we had this move up, little pull back into this trend line, and then we popped up again, a little bit of a green bar, inside bar, and now a pop again, closing above that 50-day moving average, getting up to about this kind of gap window area. This should fill the gap here, and we also can see on the 30-year, same deal here, popped. Nice little bullish pattern, got a little pop today above the 100, filled this gap on the daily. This should get up to the 2% area in the near term. So rates definitely moving a little bit here. One of the few movers today. And that put a little pressure on tech. As you can see, spiders up 0.1%, and the Qs were flat. Again, not, want to make too much out of it, but, it did put a little bit of pressure on tech. And one thing of note, so we see the XLE here down 0.6%. And the XLF down 0.13%, so not a big move here, and the Russell 2000 just barely positive. So these areas that work better with higher yield, the energy stocks, the financials, the Russell has a lot of financial stocks in it, not really reacting much to the move in yields. Also not reacting to the move in yields is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin just continues to be soft here. Actually, if we flip over here, and then we can look on TradingView, I'll just pull this up real fast. You can see the full 24-hour chart. There we go. So the full trading 24-hour chart, you can see we failed. This inside bar failed yesterday, closed below that low. It's just not a sign of strength. It just, the trend looks to be down now. We have this trend line here. If this breaks, it's going to send Bitcoin tumbling lower if it can't hold this 42 handle. But it's just very interesting. We're seeing a couple areas here in the market that are supposed to perform well when rates are running, and we're seeing rates run, and those areas are not performing. So something to keep an eye on. Again, there's very light volume right now, so we don't want to make too much out of things, and one day doesn't make a trend, but definitely something to note. One area of the market that was moving well is some of these risk-off stocks: Unilever, Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, Amgen. So a lot of these blue chip, the big names, Pepsi, these stocks have been performing well as of late, and a lot of the risk on stocks have not been performing very well. So again, we continue to see the Dow and the S&P outperform, and we see the NASDAQ and the Russell lag. So that's not exactly what you want to see in a bull market. You want to see the risk on stocks perform well, especially if rates are going up. So that is a bit of a warning flag for us. And again, we talked about volatility. It is starting to get pretty cheap. So, we could be getting lulled to sleep here as we get into the end of the year. But again, I expect some more volatility in January. Overall, FANG was pretty flat today. Apple, flat. Microsoft, Google, Tesla had a little bit of a pullback. Again, if this area here holds, this is a nice little trend line that worked out really well, hit my measured move. If this holds and we make a lower low, this is headed down to 750. So just, now it's a ways away there to have a nice surge, a 26% surge in about 5 sessions. And, we won't make too much out of this pullback, but if this rolls over and takes out this pivot, I've got this penciled in to hit 750. So we had a nice pop, a nice rally in this market, nice end of year rally. But look at the volume here, and then look at the selling volume ahead of that. This just reeks of distribution. We've talked about this on the triple Qs here for quite a while now. We've seen the distribution. If we look at the MACD, and you can see it really well on the weekly time frame. Just look at that distribution there, going on really back to a year ago. But then we have this sort of wedge building up here on the MACD as well. So any case, nice rally, nice end of year Santa Claus rally, but I do expect volatility to return next year. Anyways, let's look over a few sectors. IGV, cloud software, again, flattish today, really quiet market, but again, possibly putting in a lower high here. And, we talked about this on the weekly. This is looking like it's building up a bear base. So just be careful of that. If it can't if it can't make a higher high, this is telling you that, tech is weak. And semis, they've held up for now. Double top is holding, but if this starts to roll over, you got to be careful here. I do not like tech going into next year. Dow Transports, scratch out a 0.5% gain here, is stalling out here. Now, it's probably going to have to go sideways if it wants to go up there and fill this gap. Needs to consolidate a little bit. But again, going back to this weekly time frame, I do not like that close below that green bar low. So I do have a bit of a downside bias on the Dow Transports moving forward. Broker dealers, stalling out at this red bar. Said that would be resistance. It is pulling back a little bit. Again, these moves are very, very muted as the volume is very light. But, these levels are holding up for now. Let's take a look at the dollar index. So that was a bit of a surprise as well. Looks like it just held that green bar low here on the daily by the close, but typically lately with yields higher, the dollar has been higher, so they've been positively correlated. That was not the case today. Ultimately, dollar is still intact on the weekly time frame, so that is holding up well. Nothing really wrong there. Gold had another volatile day. Took a really big dip here on the GLD, and then as soon as the cash session opened, gold ripped higher and closed basically flat. Don't make too much out of it. Again, it's got to get above these pivots here around 1820 or so, and then it can advance. Silver, let's take a look. Silver. So yeah, silver also pulling back a little bit weaker than gold was today, but it had a nice move off the lows. Let's not make too much out of it. Platinum, on the other hand, is starting to shape up. This is actually not a terrible pattern here. So you had a nice move, and now it's moving sideways. If it can continue to do that, then it can push through these moving averages. If not, then it's probably going to roll over, and I do have a buy level worked out for that if it does. Palladium also just kind of pausing here. Again, this has to go sideways if it wants to get through that 100 moving average. And lastly, let's look at copper. Yeah, so that little pivot there, that pivot high is holding for now. Again, if it can get through that, then it can maybe get up to this 467 area. That's kind of where you broke down from. 460, 467. But for the meantime, this little red bar here is holding. And crude oil also getting up to my target yesterday. Funny how that works out. We sold the UCO, had a nice gain on it yesterday, and I said, it didn't quite get to my target. I said it should pierce 77, and it got up there. 77.37 was the high. We sold yesterday just because the risk reward just didn't favor holding it for another 30 cents or whatever it would have been. But in any case, it did get up to my target today. Now, if it wants to move higher, guess what it has to do? You guys probably know it's got to consolidate a little bit to get through this red bar. But I don't see it moving too much higher in the near term, at least not right now. Anyways, I think that's about it. Again, really light volume day. It's not too much to talk about here. I'm going to wrap it up here. But yeah, if you want to check out the website, Again, it's link is in the description. And that will be taking over for Patreon probably in February. I would like to do it at the first of the year, but it's probably not going to happen at this point. But in any case, you want to check the website out. It's there, carnivoretrades.com. Anyways, guys, you take care. Have a great rest of your night, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.